Hey, this is Jason Mott. If you want your baseball news, listen to One Cardinal, One Cub, and One Beer with JJ and Vince.
Welcome to the current episode of One Cardinal, One Cub, and One Beer. Because this is the day where we're going to have a beer corner. But first, let's get the housekeeping done. JJ, where should the people like us?
Oh, on the screen where it says subscribe.
On Facebook.
On the Facebook. I was getting there.
Okay. JJ, those who are watching on YouTube, what should they do? Should they click on the subscribe button or the this sucks button? Which one?
Well, we want honesty, and we hope it's subscribe button.
Yes. If people want to contact us, do they contact us through one card, one cub, one beer at gmail.com, or do they contact us through the state police?
Oh, that it'll be a long, arduous thing. So just go straight to the source. One Cardinal, One Cub, One Beer.com.
And if you want to get a hold of us on one of our platforms, you're certainly welcome to do that.
Heck yeah.
Also, if you would like to support our efforts on Patreon, go to patreon.com. Just type in the search bar One Cardinal, One Cub, and One Beer, and you will find us. And your support is greatly appreciated. If I look haggard, that's only because I am. And I was telling JJ before we got on here, this is the first episode. We're creeping up on 250 episodes or something like that.
I think we're 140, almost 140, I think, as we do 50 a year.
That's almost 250.
So. It's almost, round up.
But anyway, this is the first episode I've done where when 6:30 hit, which is what time we start recording, I still wasn't ready. It's been a Murphy's Law week. We are so behind on everything because of all the Murphy's Law week. I had forgotten to send JJ the link. So JJ, like 5 minutes ago, because, I was waiting for like 10 minutes. He's, hey, man, sent me a message. I don't have a link. So I sent him the link. I think we're good.
We're good.
I have so many notes here. They're not baseball notes. They're from my biology class back in college in 1986, but I've got notes. Awesome. JJ, you know what time of the month it is?
Yeah. It's the time of the month we wait for all the time. Beer Corner month.
Beer Corner. I am going local here. Ooh. I am going with the St. Louis Microbrew Citywide Light Lager. Right. And those of you who are not from St. Louis, and you can get these at any store in or around St. Louis. Let me tell you a little bit about Citywide Light Lager. They are part of the Four Hands Brewing Company. Yes, Four Hands. This person is a freak, which means he also has four arms. He is half a spider. The Four Hands Brewing Company. They are pillars of our community. The builders, makers, and creators in St. Louis are key to generating and celebrating the success of Citywide American Pale Ale. But I'm doing the light lager.
All right.
They are very philanthropic in the community. They've been around since 2016, and with the help of the entire community, they've given back over $370,000 back to the community in the past 9 years. Very good. Citywide, I have never had their light lager. I don't know why they call it light. It seems like it weighs the same amount as any other beer. But
all right.
Here we go. World's greatest grandpa.
Hey, there he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at that. Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
I can hear it fizzing.
That's a terrible pour, Vince. The head's way too big. Focus, Hopper. Look at that. That's that head is bigger than a politician's. That's how big
50-50.
Okay, let's see what we got here.
All right.
So, I feel like I can do that Three Stooges thing where I blow the head and it goes into your face.
Oh, yes. I do a spit take. All right. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, I'll give that a 3.5. That's not bad.
Oh, that's pretty good. So you would get that again?
Yeah, I'd definitely get it again. Yeah. It's not a barbecue beer. This is pretty good. I'll take it. I will take it. JJ, how was your 4th of July?
Fantastic. I mean, we had a really good time. Just spending time with family. You know, Vince, we're so busy with our schedules, and you said you had a crazy week. We have been blessed. We got great families and great wives and great friends, and getting to know Vince has been great. But doing this podcast is a blessing, and we've met some really, really fantastic people. And this week, it's just I had that football Cardinal lamp last week, that helmet lamp, and a listener on the show sent me pictures of glasses with little Cardinal helmets on it. It says St. Louis Cardinals. And I said, "Oh man, I forgot all about them." And he said,
We have those.
You got those?
Well, Kathy's grandma had them, and when she passed away, we got them. And stupidly, I put them in the dishwasher, and the football Cardinal logo washed off.
Oh no!
But we still do have the rounded smoky glass.
So you remember what? Well, my friend Dennis Rose, who watches every week, said they're yours. When I see you next, I'll give them to you. Nice. And then we've met the great Don Frizzy. Love that guy. And every day he sends me and you and Brody what happened in 1925 with the Pirates, which I have loved doing the research and learning about the players. And I know the outcome. It's like watching Titanic. You know what the end of the movie is.
Yeah.
But it's great to see the day by day and where our teams are and that kind of thing. I've really enjoyed that. So thank you, Don Frizzy. And another friend of the show, Brad Juliet at A Boy's Dream Hobby Shop, this weekend is having, I'm not a hockey guy, but Brett Hall is coming to Caledonia. What was the chances of that? And if you guys are going to go down there for Brett Hall, I order early and get your tickets and get what you're going to get signed already taken care of, because I think they're expecting huge lines. And then I just heard recently that Kurt Schilling is going to be coming to Caledonia, which who would have thought that? I'm a big Kurt Schilling fan, so the date hasn't been announced yet, but it's great to have that going on. And there's a day coming up. I don't think I have it in front of me. Yes, I do. Let me see here. No, I have it on something else. I make so many notes, Vince, but there's going to be a day. There's going to be 4 Cardinals and Fredbird there, and I think that's coming up in September. Like September 13th.
Are you going to that?
I'm going to that.
Are you going to tell Fredbird that you said on this podcast that
I'm going to tell him, and maybe we'll be bread. We're going to share some bread and mend the fences. I still don't think he's the Pittsburgh Parrot. Yeah, I think that in our division, that's the number 1 mascot. But maybe Fred can move from 5th to 3rd or something like that. So maybe he'll cut us a promo. Who knows?
I would love that.
I would too. I would too.
Nothing. I mean, he doesn't. Does Fredbird talk? I've never seen him talk.
No. He may tell me to get away from him, but that's about it.
He's a mute. Oh, we had the most low-key 4th of July. Being Apple broadcast the game, and I tried to get the free trial of Apple, but Apple was screwing up, so I didn't see the game. Just made hot dogs and hamburgers and ate with the mother-in-law, my brother-in-law. Not a fireworks guy. I'd rather watch them on TV.
Yes.
I've come a long way from that 9-year-old boy who wanted to blow up my army men with firecrackers.
Yeah, I think we all did that. That was good times.
So to now I'm like, I'd rather watch them on TV. There's so much too. And yeah, I'm old. So anyway, I'm really excited because Friday, me and Kathy, we take off for Omaha, and Friday night, me and Kathy and Max go to the Omaha AAA game, AAA affiliate of the Royals, and then Saturday we're all driving down to Kansas City, going to watch the Royals play the Mets. Hello, Mark Marianello. We're going to watch them play the Mets, and the Mets go through the skid, and I feel so bad for Mark. I really do. And I know that sometimes we have some fun at the expense of the Mets, but when you have friends that root for a team, it's kind of like, I don't want to see them suffer.
Yeah.
So, but they're going to rebound. They're a fantastic.
Oh yeah. Too much talent on that team.
No big deal. So, JJ,
Yes.
I guess you've seen the All-Star rosters.
Yes, I have. I got them right here.
Oh, I got them right here.
Hey.
Uh, any surprises?
Uh, I didn't. And let me say, I think the fans did a great job picking out the teams. I was kind of surprised that Jacob Wilson got to start because Bobby Witt Jr. is so popular and so great, and he deserves everything that a player could. And Jacob Wilson's had a great rookie season that somebody could unseat Bobby Witt at shortstop. You know how that is. Sometimes a guy gets votes the next couple of years, maybe after Larkin. I remember Ozzie and Larkin. There was maybe a couple of years where Larkin could have started, but Ozzie got the nod and Larkin was the backup. And that always happens in baseball. So the Jacob Wilson one was a little surprising to me. And let's see. I kind of thought I'm a Cardinal lover. I thought Brendan Donovan might start at second. I'm proud he made the team. But Marte, good for him. I really didn't sit down and break down the stats or anything like that. Of course, the fans don't have anything to do with the pitching. So, I mean, that looks really good. The pitching ones and then you have to have one guy from every team. And Vince, I'm not a fan of that
I'm not
because
either.
I think it hurt people that are having really good years that we got to take nothing against the Marlins. I don't know if we have any Marlin fans out there, but they probably wouldn't have a guy on the All-Star team this year with all the other players that are having great years. So that was probably my biggest surprise right there was Wilson of the American League.
I, I Javier Baez made it as an outfielder. He's more or less a super utility player.
Yeah.
And he's having a good season, but he's certainly not having an all-star season. But that's what happens when your team is really good. The fans come out and they get online and they vote. I remember back in the mid-teens when the Royals were really good, suddenly they were getting all kinds of people in the all-star game. Everybody's like, how are they doing that in Kansas City? That's what happens when you win. I A couple things that I was surprised at. Um, uh, where did I see that? Looking all over my notes. Uh, Clayton Kershaw. Okay, what's he had, like 4 or 5 starts?
Yes.
Ridiculous,
Well,
ridiculous.
I think they have a thing like a legend pick. Like the commissioner can, I think, add a player. Like I think Pujols was an add-on
You do that
this
on
final
someone's
year.
last year. You don't.
Yeah.
I mean, what if he pitches 5 more years? But
Well, that is true.
I just thought that was kind of
Yeah.
ridiculous. And well, I'm going to go ahead and get into this.
Okay.
The Diamondbacks, 2 games below 500, going nowhere. Corbin Carroll's been on in and off the IL this year. He's hitting 247. He has an OPS of 887. They already have Eugenio Suarez and let me see who's their other all-star representative. Where did I go? Oh, too many notes. Too many notes. Eugenio Suarez made the team, and Kentel Marte. Yeah. So there was no reason Corbin Carroll to be on this team. He's not having an all-star year. I understand when you've been a great player for a while and they put you in. He's in his 3rd year, okay? He's in Arizona. They have 2 representatives for a mediocre team. He's not adding any Arizona fans. Oh gosh, we're going to turn in and see all 3 of our guys. My issue with that is that the Cubs have 3. I don't have any issue with the Cubs having 3, and I will go on to explain that. But Corbin Carroll made this team as a player's commissioner pick, one of those things. You're telling me he's having a better season than Seiya Suzuki, who is leading the Major League Baseball in RBIs with 77. So RBIs don't matter anymore. The hell they don't.
Yeah. That's how you win games.
When you drive in runs with people on base, that's a skill. That's a skill level. Say it has an 880 OPS. And, you could say, okay, well, he's mostly a designated hitter, and I will give you that. He does play. He is our fourth outfielder, and he plays quite a bit in right to give Tucker a few DH days, and he's played in left to give Happ some time. And when Happ was on the disabled list, he played some left. And he's done a fine job when he's out there. He's not a Gold Glove caliber, but he's done fine. So you might be saying, Vince, you're biased, you're a Cub, okay? I will put it this way. Why did he make it over Juan Soto, who has more home runs, more RBIs, and a 904 OPS? I don't put Juan Soto in there. He's in a big market. I get that. Big market player, a marquee player. Heck, even I got a Juan Soto jersey. He is someone who transcends baseball. Corbin Carroll does not. I'm not trying to knock the guy, but I'm just saying I don't get what the thinking was here, because if I'm looking at the statistics and I'm looking at the players, I'm saying Juan Soto should get in. He's just a better player with more name recognition, having a better season than Corbin Carroll. So I don't get that. And so they have in the National League the DH is at Shoei, and the backup DH is Kyle Schwarber. Okay, I get that. Say third, I get it. He still might make it if someone gets injured or something like that, because that always seems to happen like 24 hours before the All-Star game. He may still get in. I don't even think he's been invited to be in the home run derby. I mean, I just don't get why he's not getting a little more love than what he deserves. And the other thing that I'm trying to wrap my head around is, why can't they expand the roster a bit? Because first base, you have Freddie Freeman, Dodger, fantastic player, perennial threat to be the MVP. Yes. And then the backup is Alonso. Alonso and Michael Busch, that's a wash. They're having the very same year. The only difference is Alonso was hot at the beginning, and towards the All-Star games when Busch has gotten red hot. I get putting Alonso in there over Busch because Alonso is from New York. He's got name recognition. People know him. Michael Busch is in his second year of Major League Baseball with the Cubs. He's come out of nowhere the last 2 weeks and gotten red hot and put himself in that picture of, man, this guy's a really good first baseman. I get him not making it. I get Seiya not making it because he's third place on the designated hitter. And I'm saying, if I'm the commissioner, I put Soto in the outfield, and I would even put Seiya Suzuki on the roster before I would Corbin Carroll.
I'm with you, Vince. I'm with you. There's players that like future Hall of Famers, or people that are just like a Derek Jeter that's just bigger than the game itself. I have to say, in our division, we see you guys. We see the Pirates and the Brewers and all these teams and the Reds. But in our division, we have three Cubs made the All-Star game, one Brewer, one Cardinal, one Red, and one Pirate, because I guess they had to pick one of each of us. But I have to say this, Vince, PCA has become one of those players that's bigger than the game, because even if you just watch the highlights, you know who PCA is. Every night he's making some play. Just the other day we were playing the Cubs, and it looked like Contreras had a double, and he wasn't even in the picture. And here he comes flying and stealing the ball about that high off the ground and just grabbing it and making some, just Hall of Fame play right there. So when I think of the Cubs, and I think most folks think of the Cubs, you're thinking of Tucker, and you're thinking of PCA and Justin Steele and Nico Horner, Bush. I I just like Alonso is like one of the marquee guys on the Met team. Bush is great. I think he's going to get his due one day. But I think more people, the average fan probably knows Alonso a lot more than they know Michael Bush. But you're right; they're having similar seasons right now, and it just came at different times. But when I see Cub highlights, it's usually PCA or Suzuki or I'm tired of seeing those highlights of those guys. They've done so good. Um, but yeah, Carroll, I for the life of me, I don't know why he made the team. I don't know if he got a lot of votes and he was just like the next guy up or anything. Um, I don't know. I hope they name the pitchers. I'm excited to see who the pitchers are. And there's a part of me, Vince, that would love to see a matchup. And I know it's only going to be an inning or two, but Skeens and the Detroit pitcher, Scooble. Wouldn't that be something to have those two guys face off against each other with these all-star team players? Kyle Riley got his due. I'm so glad he's starting for the American League, and he might be the MVP, Vince. Things seem to slow down as the season goes on in the dog days. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't pitch that guy. But I'm with you. Suzuki's having not just his best year, but this is kind of a historic year. Vince, he could break the RBI record isn't it Heck Wilson that has that all-time RBIs in a season?
Yeah, it's 190. I don't think he's going to get that.
Well, if they get a few pickups and he's in the middle lineup, have people on base, look out. But even to have a pace to be around 140 to 150 RBIs, that's phenomenal. So yeah. I personally want to see a guy like that on the All-Star team. And I don't think it would hurt one bit to put him on there. And some of these picks and do away with the one player on a team thing. I put the very best in there. The All-Star game doesn't seem to mean as much. It's not really American League, National League anymore. It's just sort of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's just a showcase now in the most basic terms. There's not the competition. One of the reasons there's not the competition is because free agency, players bounce from league to league. And before free agency, it was sometimes kind of rare to see a player jump from one league to the other. Right. Frank Robinson went from the Reds to the Orioles, won an MVP in both leagues. That was the first time someone has won an MVP in both leagues. Everybody's like, wow,
Yeah.
But generally, players stuck around with teams because there was a reserve clause, and you didn't leave a team unless someone traded you, or unless you shot somebody and played for a prison team. I don't know. So,
as kids, though, we never see these American League players except for the All-Star game and the World Series. And you're like, oh my gosh, Ohtani versus Judge, this is going to be something. But now we see that all the time through the year.
Yeah.
So it's just not as special as it used to be. And I remember just, man, I would eat up every ounce of the pregame show and the postgame show. And, we're going to get to see these players we've only read about. Tom Verizon. This is the flesh right there. Tom Verizon.
I remember the 78 World Series, and Ron Guidry had a 25-3 record and an ERA of about 1.75. And he's facing the Dodgers. And none of the Dodgers had faced him before. And, well, maybe they didn't 77 All-Star game, but most of them had not really faced him. And they went back and they studied how they approached Steve Carlton, because left-hander with a slider, that was kind of like, that's how they could figure him out. And then he went there, I think it was game 3, he started in New York, and the Dodgers kept crushing the ball and Nettles kept catching it. If you want to see a clinic on cat-like reflexes at third base in one game, he made 4 or 5 just outstanding plays. Just Google Nettles in the 78 World Series. But, yeah, Nettles isn't on third. Guidry gets creamed that game. Instead, the Yankees win. So, it's been a sad week. We've had 2 more major league players pass away. First guy I want to mention, Billy Hunter, who was the shortstop. Um, he played from 53 to 58, and his first year was with the Browns, so he did have some St. Louis connection. So I wanted to put him in here. Also, he was a backup shortstop in 55 and 56 for the Yankees. 55, they lost the World Series to the Dodgers. 56, they won the World Series against the Dodgers. 56 being the World Series with Larson through the perfect game. But he has a one World Series ring, one AL championship ring. Played a few years, made St. Louis his home 1 year, and he passed away. So rest in peace, Billy Hunter. Second one surprised me. I didn't even know this guy had a fatal illness, but Bobby Jenks, who pitched from '05 to 11. And I was surprised that his career was so short because he was so good for that time. From '05 to 11, that's 6 years. He had 172 saves. So, I mean, it's almost averaging 30 saves. That's almost averaging 30 saves a season in his short career. And he played on that 2005 World Series championship team with the White Sox. So Bobby Jenks also passed away at the young age of 44, I think it was. So what do you remember of Bobby Jenks?
Well,
I know you have none of Billy Hunter, but
no, I really don't, and I'm sad to say that. But Bobby Jenks, two-time All-Star, he was, and like you said, he was a big member of that White Sox team that won it that year. And I just remember him being a gigantic man. I don't think I have his height in here, but when Ozzie Guillen would go to the mound, he would do like this. Like usually you go right ear, right ear, lefty or whatever, but he would do like the big guy, and they would bring out Bobby Jenks. And there was 2 years, and this is, as a baseball fan and a history fan, things change so quick. And he had this great career, but it only lasted 7 years. But there was 2 years, Vince, where he was on that '05 World Championship team. That's a great season. But '06, '07, he had 40 saves in '06 and 41 saves in '07. And that is, top of the line right there. And, they always say in those movies, they come and they go, they come and they go. Well, his career, he came, had a great career, and left. And Vince, that just shows you how relievers, it's hard to be on top for a long time, and your career can go pretty quick. So enjoy these guys while they're here, because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring, an injury, or that's just it. Your pitch slows down and they start hitting you. But what a career. I'll remember him. I never got to meet him, or I don't have any memorabilia of his, but I'm a fan.
when you're a closer and you're putting that kind of stress on your arm, most closers do have very short careers. And usually a closer, 3 or 4 year peak as a closer, and then you start seeing it go downhill. That was it really makes me appreciate guys like Eckersley, Lee Smith, Trevor Hoffman, Mariano Rivera. Those guys, year in and year out, would just continue closing games. Bobby Jenks was 6'3" and 275 pounds. So
that's a good sized man right there, man.
That's baseball weight, which means he's probably about 290.
Yeah, they do. If you're in football, I remember when we played football, we were all like 5'10", 5'11", but if you got the program, it said 6 foot, 6'2". They'd always add a couple some height to you on the programs. But you talked about relievers, and we'll get back to the All-Star game. Josh Hader, what a career he's had, and this year he's kind of had a rebound year, and he's back on the All-Star team this year. So he's been a top-notch closer, and you never know how the career is going to play out, who's going to make the world. I hate to put pressure like Hall of Fame, but what a career this guy's had. So I don't know. We've got Helsley, and I don't know if he's going to be on the team by the end of the month, but it's been fun watching him. And both the Cubs and the Cardinals have been blessed with good relievers through the years.
What about Aroldis Chapman?
Yeah, he's had a bounce back this year.
He's having his best year since the 2016 season with the Cubs.
That's something, ain't it? He can still hit 100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't just how hard he threw; it was that slider that he had too. I mean, he he is the modern day equivalent to what Randy Johnson was. A big left-hander with a wicked fastball and a slider that breaks, goes through a couple of tectonic plates before it's done. And
He kind of has a his gait is sort of like Lee Smith, I think. Kind of lumbers out there, comes back and just rears back and fires that ball, and it's on you before you blink, and it's on you. And he's been a treat to watch too, even back with the Reds. So what a career that guy's had. But if you look at his totals and match them to like Hall of Famers, it's not even close. But I think, wow, this guy's had nothing but huge success. Kimbrel's up there, who's had a long career, and Kinsley Jansen has been
yeah,
around a long time as well.
yeah. Well, let me get to transactions and wounded people. Tyler Melee for the Rangers is now on the 60-day IL with right shoulder soreness, and Josh Young has been sent to AAA. And I was listening to a podcast, and there's some kind of dysfunction on that Rangers team.
I thought so. I picked them at the beginning of the year to be the American League representative. I really did, but I don't know what's going on.
Someone who was speaking anonymous who joined the team, I don't know, as a player or coach, whatever, said he was surprised at how everybody's just doing their own thing. And you would think with a seasoned manager like Bochy and veterans like Seager and DeGrom, and
Oh
you
yeah.
would think that there'd be something a little more cohesive going on there. But it's just kind of strange because Josh Young, like he was set up to have a very good all-star career, and he still
Yeah.
made it. Minor leagues, dude. For the Brewers, Rob Zastrisky is on the 15-day IL with a rib cage stress fracture. My golly, this is the month for rib cage problems.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But that's okay because Brandon Woodruff is back, so now they got Peralta, Woodruff, and the guy whose last name starts with an M that I'll never.
Oh yes. He's going against Kershaw tonight, by the way. That's a good matchup right there.
He got lit up last game.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, he gave up like 7 runs in 5 innings.
So he is human.
Yeah, yeah. Reese Hoskins, he's going on the IL for about 6 weeks. He's got a sprained thumb. Yeah, I don't know. Right. Try doing this to someone. Yeah, like you. Wilson Contreras. Yeah. So, this is our weekly update on Dylan Carlson. He has been called up, back up to Baltimore from AAA, and 2 days later he went back down to AAA.
Oh,
This guy's got to be close to being out of options.
I think so.
Yeah. So, Chris Sale's been transferred to the 60 IL with his fractured left rib cage. So he's probably not going to be in the All-Star game. Just to guess. And
Yeah.
Jerickson Profar is back, baby. That PED suspension is over. He is back. He weighs 122 pounds now.
Wow, he went on an extreme diet.
Kerry Carpenter's on the 10-day IL with a strained right hamstring, so his participation in the All-Star game is kind of iffy. Trevor Williams with Washington, he's on the 15-day IL with a right elbow sprain. And Anthony Santander has been transferred to the 60 IL with left shoulder inflammation. They got him from the Orioles. They wanted him to hit 30-plus home runs. He's having a terrible year, but who cares? The Blue Jays are in first place now. Awesome. We don't
It
need
is.
him. We'll just keep paying him that money. We don't need him. I think this is cool because last year he pitched for the Cubs and was having a terrible year. We finally let him go. Houston has re-signed Hector Neris off the scrap heap. So going back to Houston may be something good for him. He's clearly doesn't have what he used to have. Has trouble throwing the ball over the plate, and his fastball, when he does throw it over the plate, is very hittable nowadays. So, and this is a very cool story. Not a tragedy. The devastating floods that happened in Texas. I don't think they still have an accurate body count. It's just a sad situation. But the Rangers and Astros are getting in there and helping with flood relief in the area. So I love when teams do that. Maybe this will be something that will bring the Rangers together.
Vince, sometimes tragedies do bring teams together. I was going to tell you, I've been in that river twice, and it's a very dangerous river. And the last time I was in there, I thought I had drowned. My son saw another boat run me over, and I went down, and I couldn't get past the current. So and I was about out of air, and I went all the way to the bottom and pushed hard as I could. And I came up, and these two young guys had these, they were like lifeguards in the area. They threw these round things, and I grabbed on them. They pulled me over, and I was so worn out. I was coughing up water, and the current was so strong, Vince, and this is the God honest truth. My hat was gone, one of my shoes, and my underwear, everything, pants, underwear, gone. My big old white butt got up the river, and I laid there, and they said, hey, you can't lay there. And I said, I almost drowned. Give me a second. And they put a beach towel over me. I lay there for a while. And Brody was like, Dad, you've been underneath there for a while. And it was like, he said like 40 seconds. And I was really starting to worry. But that river there's areas where it comes down and shoots, and it's just got a lot of rapids and everything. And I know in 1987 that happened there as well. But man, wear every safety device you can on these floats. We were just going down in tubes, and I just got wrapped up in this current kind of thing and took it down there. So I have been there, and I believe, and I'm a fair swimmer. I was in the Navy, and it's a dangerous river right there.
I was in high school. We took a float trip on the Merrimack.
Okay.
And there's this one, and we've done it before. There's this one little area, and then there's this little crag where there's big cliff. We would jump off the cliff, and the current was very strong there. And I was in high school. I was an athlete. I was a strong swimmer, and we were all just jumping off there. And then you would have to swim kind of against the current, and the current would take you to where you would be on the shore. So you kind of had to swim this way, and then the current would take you as you swim this way. Well, I'm swimming this way, and I suddenly, because it's like the third time I jumped up, I realized I'm too tired to swim that strong, and the current just started taking me, and suddenly I just went down and under, and I came back up, and I'm bobbing, and everybody's laughing at me.
They think you're joking around, huh?
Yeah. And I yelled to my brother-in-law, come and get me. And he got in a canoe, and first, one of my friends who's passed away since then, one of my friends swam out and held me up because he could tell I was just gassed. And then my brother-in-law came out with the canoe, and we got in. And that's the last float trip I've been on.
I'm with you, Vince. I think my days of doing that floating and tubing is over for me. And they say, "Oh, hit this hard river here." Nah, it ain't for me. I'm not doing that. So, God love you. I know how that can be. Oh, hey, Vince, I watched a documentary on the best minor league field in baseball, and it's a A-ball team in Davenport, Iowa, or Dyersville, Iowa. And it's the A-ball team of the Kansas City Royals. And Jake, that big home run hitter they got now, Jake Caglianone, he came up through there. They used to be with the Astros. It's phenomenal. The guy who owns it is he meets people at the front door and shakes hands, and they have a little amusement park for kids, and it's right on a river and everything. So I looked this up, and this would be a good weekend trip because I know you've went to Cleveland and the Hall of Fame and to Pittsburgh, and you're going to Kansas City. But I think a real good weekend trip would be like on a Friday to go up to I think it's Dyersville where they filmed Field of Dreams. Go out, have a catch on that field, see the house. I know. I get emotional, Vince. Do that. Come out in cornfield, get a picture. Saturday and Sunday, go down and see the A ball team for the Royals at Davenport, Iowa. It's about hour and a half away apart. So you go. The farthest is where Field of Dreams is, and then you come back down an hour and a half, and then see the Royals team. I think that'd be a great trip, and this team has really built it up, and the city really supports the team and everything. It's really a great success story for a minor league baseball team.
KJ, we are true Midwesterners. We're talking about how excited we get to go to Iowa and Nebraska.
Yes, I know, but that's cool.
Wow. No. Got any other general news?
Yes, I do. Vince, I guess you heard about this one. Luis Ortiz is being investigated for gambling on baseball, the Cleveland Guardian pitcher. And he's on let me get this right. He is placed on non-disciplinary leave Thursday related to making bets on baseball. And evidently, now with these betting things, you can bet on anything, these prop bets, like the first pitch of an inning. Well, evidently, they've sort of traced this to a friend or an account. I don't know much more than that, but the first two pitches were not even of those innings. And evidently, the money really went up. A lot of people.
Yeah, that's the alarms when suddenly there was like these massive bets, $1,500 bets that the first pitch would be in the dirt or something weird.
Yes.
And it happened a couple times. And he was getting ready to start against the Cubs when he was yanked.
Oh.
And I think that was Wednesday's game. So we faced a guy that we'd never heard of, which meant we couldn't hit him. So,
ain't that the truth? The Cardinals are the same way. We don't see anybody, and this guy's got a ERA in the minors of 2.5, and they shut us out. I know how that is. Good Lord. But Vince, in this day and age, these guys are making, I think the league minimum is around $750,000 a year. And the one rule, and well, two, you can't take steroids or supplements, and you can't bet on baseball. Don't bet on it. Don't take any chances. Your reputation will be ruined. I hope this guy is found innocent. Nothing happened. They're just looking into it. They find him okay. But man, that's a tragedy that he would even think about doing.
I don't get, of course, I've never made that kind of money.
No, sir.
$750,000 in a year sounds like a ton of money to me. I don't get, I was making $750,000 a year. I think I would be squeaky clean.
Oh. If my boss said, you shave your head and I'm going to call you Patricia, yes, sir. Whatever you want, sir.
Speaking of the law, I don't know if you saw my Facebook post. I drive a 2022 Chevy Spark. Call it Sparky. Love it. So yesterday, I'm driving through Baldwin, and I look in my rearview mirror. I know maybe it was Sunday. I look in my rearview mirror, and am I getting pulled over? Why am I getting pulled over? And so I pull into this little parking lot. Cop comes out and says, I pulled you over. She said, well, it's only 30 there, and you were doing about 38. I said, oh, I'm sorry. He said, well, a lot of people, he said it's kind of a low speed limit for this road. And so I give him my insurance and stuff. And he just offhandedly says, this was an older cop, he's probably about my age. He said, it's the first time I've ever pulled over a Chevy Spark. I said it's because they're almost impossible to speed in. So he kind of chuckled and he gave me a verbal warning and let me go. So,
Oh, that's perfect, Vince. Great answer. Great answer. Well, how about that? Well, also in baseball, we had a big change of the guard in Washington Nationals. They've got rid of their general manager and their manager, Dave Martinez. These guys have been there for a long time. Mike Rizzo has been there since well, I've got some numbers here and I can't read it, but he's been there for a long time, working his way up the ladder. And then Dave Martinez was the guy who led the Nationals to the World Series. Now, I think he's a very good manager, but they've really kind of pulled the rug out from underneath him. I mean, he lost Harper and Soto and Trey Turner, and maybe Rendon wasn't so bad that they lost him. They signed Strasburg to a contract, and then he got hurt. Max Scherzer left. I mean, that's just a lot of superstars to leave and expect him to win. Now they haven't been any higher than fourth place for about since the World Series. So I guess I understand a change of guard, but they've got this kid James Woods and Dylan Cruz. Now Cruz hasn't done much in the bigs yet, but they got two really outstanding young players there, and Gore they got in the Soto trade. They've got a nucleus that a team that they could be putting something special together. But I hope they sign James Woods. I'd like to see him stay there. I like when a young guy comes up through the system and they keep him. It's going to probably cost them a lot of money, but I'd love to see James Woods stay. And I hate that Dave Martinez got fired, but it's been a long time. And after you win a World Series, you have a little cushion. You can have a couple bad years, but eventually they're going to expect you to win again. So anyway, what do you thought about? What did you think when you heard about that firing?
I thought it was embarrassing. Um, it's not Mike Rizzo's fault that Bryce Harper got priced out of his range. Scherzer got priced out of the budget. Who else?
Max Scherzer, you said Soto.
Said he wasn't going to. So they got talent for Soto. That's not his fault. That's an organizational issue that they don't have the money to compete. So why do you fire Mike Rizzo and Dave Martinez in the middle of the season? Let their contracts go out. I don't know how long the contracts went, or at least wait till the end of the season.
Yeah.
I thought this was embarrassing because this was not a team that has said, oh gosh, we're a talented team. We just don't feel like playing today. They were not unmotivated. They just lost all the talent and they put their chips in on Strasburg and he got hurt. Is that Martinez's fault? No. Trey Turner, they wasn't going to sign him. So it's just sad that you have to have a scapegoat. And it's a societal thing. We always have to blame somebody.
Ain't that the truth?
There's really no one to blame. You kind of got priced out of these great players that were on this great team that won a World Series.
Vince, do you think I was going to bring
money owners? I don't know what to tell you. So you can compete with the big boys.
You think, baseball changes with the times, and there was a time where you would have one man own the team, like George Steinbrenner and Bill Veeck, Augie Bush. There might have been some other people in there too, but it was mainly one guy. Now it seems like it's a conglomerate, a bunch of people. Like the Dodgers, when I look at when they win the World Series, you see Billie Jean King and Magic Johnson and a bunch of people I don't know. There's usually one guy who's the figurehead, but they've got this huge array of almost like billions at their disposal. Maybe that's what we're going to, where just like, the DeWitts are like a family business where it seems like maybe the game's passing them by a little bit, and somebody who is a baseball fan and has a lot of financing and that could come, and maybe that's a way of the future where we're going to have these conglomerate, these groups that come in with a lot more money than just what the old guys used to have. Maybe that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, the Ricketts family owns the Cubs, but they're kind of different.
Are
The
they?
Cubs are kind of the Cubs, they're Dodgers. They make money just because of their brand,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
there's very few teams in Major League Baseball and sports in general. You have like the Dodgers, the Cubs, the Yankees. You have the Lakers. Football is just set up completely different. Um, so it's a situation where it's very hard for the single rich guy to compete anymore. So I
I'm
think
with
you're
you.
right. It's going to be ownership groups um, more and more and more with a figurehead. And I don't want to be a member of an ownership group, but I'd sure love to be a figurehead.
Hey,
Love for them to say, "Well, we don't know what you do, Mr. Hopper, but here's the World Series trophy. Now that you're the figurehead for the Chicago Cubs, say everybody, free beer at Murphy's now."
you'll be president of that team real quick. They'll love you. I was watching I saw another little documentary on the Nashville team. They're really putting together, they've been working on this for 6 years. There's a guy from Chicago that's kind of running everything, and they want an expansion team. And the current commissioner said before he leaves office, he'd like to have two more teams put in there. So all these different areas. But Nashville's been working on this for 6 years, and they've got I saw Tony La Russa has came in, and I think he's part of the group, and Bruce Bochy, and there's another manager. I remember I had it written down and I can't find it. And then as far as like celebrities, there's like Jelly Roll, some rapper, um, Darius Rucker. I seen Darius Rucker's name on the thing, and one of the big people that's companies that's really behind this is Rawlings too, which is been a part of baseball since the beginning of time. So Rawlings, they've already picked a name. There was a Negro League team down there, the Nashville Stars, and they've already put merchandise out, shirts and hats, and they're in Nashville. These hats are selling like wildfire. The only thing is they're the 40th biggest. Now Nashville's a growing city, but right now they're the 40th biggest media, whatever views and people watching and listening. So that's kind of a step back from some of the teams we have right now. Like I think some of the teams we have are like in the mid 20s all the way up to number one. So that would be kind of a drop back, but that would be a nice team and with a big area there to bring fans in. So I'd like to see Nashville get a team. That's a great city, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool. I'm still I'm still rooting. The Montreal will get a team,
Oh, that'd
and
be
I'm
cool.
still wanting to see before I die Havana, Cuba have a team
Ooh.
because that would be the funnest games to watch.
Oh my, that crowd would be wild. That would
Oh
be fun.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, any other general news?
No, may I jump into Cardinal news?
You may.
The Cardinals and KMOX have signed a deal to stick around. KMOX is going to still broadcast the Cardinal games on the radio. There's two, an AM station and an FM station now, and they're doing at noon. They have a little Cardinal gas house gang thing, and around 5 o'clock they do something else. So more Cardinal stuff going on, and that's great. I know Ray Hartman out there. He listens to the games when I don't have access to a Cardinal game on TV. I put on the radio and I listen to Ricky Horton do the games on the radio, and I absolutely love it. So I'm glad KMOX. That's a big part. They've been a part of every Cardinal World Championship. That I heard that on the radio today, so that's fantastic. They were playing a lot of highlight broadcasts from Harry Carey and Jack Buck and Mike Shannon and all that whole crew. JJ Weatherholt, and he's got moved up to Memphis. And Vince, not crazy about this because on the 18th, I have tickets to go to a Springfield Cardinals game, and I was hoping to go down there and see JJ Weatherholt, but he's been moved up to Memphis. He's
I
also
saw
going to.
play.
How do you look? Do pretty good.
He said, "I got to get out of here before JJ gets here."
I had big J's made, so in the crowd, we could get the JJ thing going, and then I was going to film it and look like they were cheering for me. That was the deal, but it didn't work. But he's going to be in the Futures game, which is Saturday, which will be fun, and I look forward to seeing him. And I'm not putting a lot of pressure on this kid. I mean, a lot of people are looking, hey, we got JJ Weatherholt coming. Well, he's just, take your time. So many people have expectations he's going to win the Triple Crown his rookie year. Just calm down. Let him come up and get his feet wet. And I hope to see him by the end in September, hopefully come up and get a little playing time and a little taste of the big leagues. We've had some injuries. I'm not going to cry baby about it.
I would.
Every team has had injuries. You guys have had pitching injuries, and you just
cry about it too.
There's nothing you can do. Oh, the Mets! I'm telling you, they had a ton of injuries, and a lot of these teams who had high expectations, they're just playing the middle of the road ball. And I mean, Atlanta and Baltimore, you thought, and the Texas Rangers, and then you got teams like the Houston Astros. I can't believe for 10 years they just a steady Eddie and just excellence right down there. But anyway, we've got a lot of injuries right now. Ivan Herrera, who's been a big bat in our lineup, he's out. Nolan Arenado's got a couple problems, one's hand, and but that does mean now Sajasi and Gorman will get to play, and you don't realize how good Arenado is until you see somebody else playing third. There's a couple plays that JC made. You're like, oh, wow, this kid's great. And then there was a couple plays where he was throwing the ball home and he missed the catcher entirely. You're like, well, that's how it is. Not everybody's Arenado. And Jordan Walker. So those are some right-hand bats we have just missed because left-handers have carved us up. And I'll get into that a little bit later. Brendan Donovan is going to the All-Star game, and I'm so proud of him. I remember he came up, he worked his butt off. He really never had a position. They moved him around all over the place, and he got the first utility gold glove. Love Brendan Donovan. He's become a second baseman, and he plays a lot of left field still too. But man, he's a big part of our lineup. And then we'll get to the schedule, and this has not been a very good week. Vince, in May, well, first of all, in April, we didn't play very well. We kind of we were about 6 games below 500, but in May we were 19-8. In June we were 14-14, and so far in July we're 1-4. But it's how you play the game. I like to be competitive, but we came off a 3-game sweep of the Guardians, and we were thinking, oh, hey, all right, we're about 2.5 games, 3.5 games behind the Cubs. Maybe we can make this a race. But then we played the Pirates and didn't even score a run. And then we played the Cubs, and I have to say we lost the first game 11-0, and it wasn't even a close game. And I had people getting a hold of me saying, "This team's horrible. Why you shouldn't even. You're wasting your time watching this team." And I'm like, I said the Dodgers have lost today 18-1. And that's a great team. It happens to everybody. Now, we've been on a downhill swing of late, and it's been rough. But and I want to say something. I really admire the Cubs. Even though they kicked our butts, they were a lot of sportsmanship. I would see a runner over by Contreras, and they would both give each other a little trouble, pat each other on the back. Somebody had hit a home run, and then Friday, I'll let you talk about this, but there was no drought of power from the Cubbies. They just were hitting home runs. And of course, they're happy. They're celebrating, but they weren't rubbing our faces in it. We already felt bad enough. And really, Michaelis and Fetty have, as the year has went on, has just not got the job done. And I give Michaelis credit. He stood up, he went out there and he went 6 innings and took one for the team. But, oh, that was brutal. And then Saturday, by the luck of the good Lord, we came from behind and won a game. We needed that so desperately. And then the Cubs said, hey, that ain't happening again, and kick our butts on Sunday. But we played the Cubs 7 times.
Oh. Let me interject something about Sunday's game.
Yeah.
The Cubs are having this big inning. Nothing's going right for the Cardinals.
Nothing.
Mason Wynn is mic'd up. That guy is pure class. Pure class.
Well, he said great things about all your players, how good they are.
Oh, he's just a classy guy. And that's since the first time I ever saw him in front of a mic, I thought, I like this guy. He is just a classy human being.
He makes me
And
proud to be a Cardinal fan, and he wants to pitch, but of course the Cardinals, when we get blown out, he wants to come in and pitch, but we can't risk him getting hurt. But
I've seen guys mic'd up on a Monday night game, and it's apparent, yeah, it's a pain in the neck. I'm just doing it, He had every right to like, oh gosh, it's like, just kept his head up, head in the game, talked to the announcers, let them know what was going on, let them know, man, I ran forever for that ball. I'm tired. And he's still shouting encouragement to his team. I thought that's a guy you build around.
He's a treat to watch, and I think that's good for baseball and for the Cardinal Cubs because PCA hit a double, and then he's over there talking to PCA, congratulating him on starting the All-Star game. That's just good. I love to see that.
Yeah, he said they've played together since they were 12.
I bet the top young players and stuff. But there was a thing they did on ESPN where they had PCA and Suzuki's next to each other, and they are really close friends. But PCA kind of made a plea like, hey, this guy should be in the All-Star game. And it was just good to see that brotherhood, and they really care for each other. I like that. I like to see that. So I'm not really going to go over the stats or anything. I mean, we had some guys get some hits, and we hit a few home runs, and the Burlesons, I think, hurt now too. But I'm still, I want to see, I'd really like to see McCreevy and Quinn Matthews come up and pitch. I know the Cardinals don't want to eat the rest of Fetty's contract, but maybe send him down and let him come back and work out of the bullpen or something. Because I want to see these young guys pitch because the season's not a wash yet. We still could be a wild card team. I'm excited. I'm going to go to a couple more Cardinal games this year, and I'm really looking forward to see the Yankees and the Cardinals. But there's so much good, and right now we're just going through some tough times, and I can't wait to see what happens tonight. We're playing the Nationals. I'd like to see us get 2 out of 3 against them. The Brewers, they're pretty good too. We got the Reds right with it, so 4 good teams right now in the Central, and it's just going to be fun down the stretch. And I think it's going to be a lot of it's going to be health. Who's the healthiest team at the end? So anyway, it was fun watching the Cardinals Cubs, and I think I feel blessed that we took 3 out of 7 because I just think right now the Cubs are a far superior team than us.
Well, in Cub news, we had a good week. We were 5-1, and I'll get into that in a moment. Just negative news. Jameson Tyon has been placed on the 15-day IL.
Oh.
And we've called up Jordan Wicks. And that's Saturday's game was supposed to be Tyon's start. We started with an opener with Pomerantz, and he walked the first 2 batters, both of whom came in to score. Saturday was a weird game for us. I never felt like we had our bearings. Even when we had a lead, it felt like, we're not clicking on all cylinders. So, but that's okay. PCA, Kyle Tucker starting in the outfield for the All-Star game. Matthew Boyd, at the age of 34, is getting his first All-Star nod. He's 9-3, about a 2.5 ERA, so he's very deserving. Was it Sunday night? I think Alvin Kamara, native Chicagoan, for the New Orleans Saints, threw out the first pitch and kind of did a 50-cent thing, so he said have another shot at it. Oh, according to MLB.com, if the MVP was voted on today, Shohei Ohtani's the MVP, PCA second, Kyle Tucker third.
Wow.
Very good. I do want to give out, let me just quickly go through the games. We swept Cleveland, who is just looking terrible.
Yeah.
The first game we won 5-2. Kelly had a couple of hits. Bush had 3 hits. PCA 2 hits. Suzuki had a home run, and Boyd won his 8th game. And Palencia got the save. And then Wednesday night, we played Cleveland. We won 5-4. Imanaga got the win. 5 in the third innings, 3 runs. all 3 runs on solo home runs. Valencia got the save. Suzuki had 3 RBIs, PCA 2 hits, 2 RBIs. And Swanson also had 2 hits. And then Thursday's game was the game that the gambler got caught. So we faced some guy we had no idea who he was. So of course we can't hit that person because that's what we do. And game went 10 innings, scoreless, and then we won it in the bottom of the 10th. Matt Shaw got a sacrifice game-winning RBI in the 10th. And I'm sorry, when there's a deep fly ball to end the game, every outfielder just watches it go and gives the guy a hit. I don't. The guy went back and caught the ball, so we had to tag up for the sacrifice fly. Maybe you should just let the ball drop and let this poor rookie get a hit. So who's hitting like 210, 207 right now. But Cade Horton did pitch 7 shutout innings his of the year. Flexen got the win. And then against Cardinals, you talked about the first game. We hit 8 home runs in that game, set a new Cup record.
Cardinal record too.
Bushy had 3 home runs, PCA 2, Swanson, Suzuki, and Carson Kelly got his whole team. So very good. And we kind of Colin Ray pitched 6 2/3 innings, only gave up 1 run. Clearly his best start of the year. But we marched out John Birdie in the 9th, and he pitched the whole inning. Gave up a couple runs, walked 3, gave up 2 hits, 18.00 ERA. So he's probably not going to be pitching again.
Not in the All-Star game. Yeah.
Saturday's game was that strange game. We lost 8-6 with J-Mo going out. Carson Kelly got the Cardinals again. Bushy hit another home run. Cardinals are just the better team that day. And, even though they're going through a funk right now, Saturday's game proves they just don't quit.
Yeah,
Brett Keller had pitched that 8th inning where he gave up 5 runs. And that's the first bad outing I can remember all year from him. So I'm giving him a pass. 1 inning, 5 runs, and his ERA is now 2.88. Usually that'll shoot your ERA up to ERA was so microscopic. Very good. Then Sunday night's game, Boyd pitched 5 shutout innings to win his 9th game. Jordan Wicks came in, pitched 3 1/3 innings, no runs. With all the injuries, we do need him right now. Suzuki had another home run. 5-1, good week for the Cubs. The Brewers are keeping right up pace. We have coming up the Twins starting tonight, and then we finished the first half with going to New York for 3 games. So in Minnesota, going to Minnesota and New York, I'll be happy with the 3-3 road trip to get us to the All-Star game. So that's Cub news. By the way, next week we will not be having a show because of the All-Star game, because we do record on Tuesday nights. So following our tradition, I think we just started last year. We're not doing a show on the All-Star. But if you want to listen to a show, you know who you should listen to?
Oh, well, I listen to Jeremy Connor all the time.
Jeremy Connor, yes. Comes a time in every man's life when he needs some advice on relationships. You need to listen to the podcast DMDR, which stands for Dating, Marriage, Divorce, Remarriage, from my good friend Jeremy Connor, the Dr. Phil of the Boot Hill. You can find DMDR on Spotify or whatever platform you choose to listen to your podcast. JJ and I, we're going to look at the All-Star snubs. And we're picking 5 from each league. JJ is going to do the National League. I'll do the American League. And mine are in no particular order. I just think these are 5 guys that deserve to be on the team. And I know there's not room for everybody. But JJ, you want to do the National League first? 5 snubs.
Sure. You know what? I'll name one. You do one. We'll go back and forth. How's that?
Okay.
All right. Well, the first one I won't say is a snub. It's just somebody I'd like to see put on the All-Star team. and that is the Brewers manager, Pat Murphy. Now, I know the managers will pick the coaches they want to come with them, but Pat Murphy's never been a part of an all-star team. This is only his second year to be a manager. I think one other time he was like somebody got fired and he filled in. But for the Brewers, this has been his second year. And Pat Murphy, Christian Yelich calls him the Patches O'Houlihan of managers. Patches O'Houlihan from the great movie where they throw the wrench.
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball. Yes, dodgeball. And evidently, Pat's got a jersey of Patches O'Houlihan in his office. He's been there, he's done that, and I love to see when people have paid their dues, worked their way up to the top. And Craig Counsell left the Brewers, or he went to greener pastures, I will say. And the Brewer fans were like, oh, but Pat Murphy has come in and done a wonderful job. And that team, I have his stats down here. I'll go over a little bit later, but he was a college coach and coached at Notre Dame, and they were 318 and 116 win-loss record. Then he went to Arizona State and led them to 4 different college World Series. Nothing but success wherever he has went. Some of the players that played for him in Arizona were Dustin Pedroia, Ian Kinsler, Andrea Ether, the outfielder for the Dodgers. So a lot of great players have come through there. He's 66 years old. He's never been to an all-star game. And as an older fan, I would like to see them put Pat Murphy on that team. I think it'd be great for the city of Milwaukee to have their guy there. And anyway, that was my first one, Pat Murphy.
Okay. My first one's a little out of the box. Okay. And I think if he was on a lesser team, he would have been on the All-Star team. But he happens to play in Detroit, and they already have 32 All-Stars, so they had to draw the line somewhere. And I always liked this guy, even when he played for the Cubs, just a utility player. But now he's that super utility player for the Tigers. And the Tigers have 2 of those super utility players, Javi Baez, who was starting in the outfield. But this guy is also a super utility player, having a great year, Zach McKinstry. He is hitting 285. He's not a power hitter playing in a huge ballpark, so he only has 6 home runs. But he does have an 812 OPS, which kind of makes you do a double take. Zach McKinstry has an 812 OPS. He is taking advantage of that big ballpark. He's got 8 triples. He's going to finish the year with double digits in triples, which is awesome. 11 stolen bases, so he'll probably reach a stolen base plateau. But this is where I really like him. He's played first base, second base, shortstop, third base, so he's played all around the infield, and he's played left field and right field. And he's done a fantastic job at all places he's played. And he's that kind of guy that teams need, the kind of guy who can fill in and play anywhere and get full-time at bats because he's so skilled. And someone needs a day off, I can fill in. Oh, this guy's on 10-day IL, he can fill in. And he's put together a really nice season. And I would just like to see, would have thought it would have been pretty cool if he had made the All-Star team. He's got all-star numbers, and that's my first snub, Zach McKinstry. Not a big snub, but kind of a snub there.
Yeah, it'd be great for a guy like that to get honored. Well, and like you said, not in any particular order, but this next guy, he's one of these guys, wherever he's been on different teams, I've loved to watch him everywhere he's went, and it's Trey Turner. And Trey Turner's a big part of that Phillies team. He plays a heck of a shortstop position. Very athletic, and in my book, I think he's the best slide. He can slide better than anybody. He slides almost like Eversley, where he'll slide into home, hit the bag with his hand, and just pop up. It's beautiful to watch. Very casual in the field. Of a team of all-stars, Trey Turner is one of the best players on that team. The first half of the season, he's got a 3.1 WAR. I actually don't even know what WAR actually is, but 3.1 for a half a season, I think that's pretty good from what I understand. Vince, he's leading all of Major League Baseball with 110 hits. And that's what the game's about. Get on base, cause havoc. And he's got the speed where he can steal bases. This year, I don't think I have his stolen base totals down. Uh, he's got 61 runs scored, 18 doubles, 11 home runs, 39 RBIs. He's hitting 299. Who wouldn't want that out of your shortstop? I would love that out of my shortstop. He's played 89 of the 92 games. So he's there. He plays all the time. And he's got 26 walks and 64 strikeouts. This day and age, that's pretty darn good. He's made 3 All-Stars games in the past. And to be honest with you, when I watch the Phillies, they've got so many really good players. But Trey Turner seems to be the one that I watch in the field. He's just so good of a fielder and everything. Very class guy, doesn't take any cheap shots. He plays hard, and that's what I like. I wish he played. I mean, I love Mason Wynn, don't get me wrong, but Trey Turner would be great to have on anybody's team. So my number 2 guy is Trey Turner.
Okay. My next guy, I think, is the biggest snub. Um, Joe Adell, the rookie for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Oh,
He's hitting 248, 19 home runs, an 823 OPS, and he plays a great center field. I've only been able to catch a couple Angels games this year, and he's an impressive guy. And that average will probably go up as he gets some experience, but the power is already there. And this is he's kind of the victim of Javi Baez getting voted in the outfield because that squeezes you have to squeeze someone out, and Joe Adell's having a great year, and so far the Angels have been a really good story, and I think maybe they should have been rewarded by Joe
yeah.
Adell being on the All-Star team. I think it's a mirage. I don't think they're going to last, but I look at him, and I'm going to start paying attention to a few more Angels games just to see him a little bit more. Um, but yeah, he is quietly becoming a star that nobody knows exists. So,
You're right.
and he's sitting in that ballpark, which is not. I mean, it's not a bandbox. It's yeah, kind of plays to the pitcher. So I just think that he certainly should have been an all-star this year, but he's not. So he's got to be my biggest snub.
Well, it's hard not to be a homer, and I really compared other pitchers to Sonny Gray. I was, comparing Ranger Suarez and some of the other pitchers, but Sonny Gray has by far been our ace, most consistent pitcher for the Cardinals. Maybe that's not saying that's like being the nicest guy in prison. Maybe that's like saying that, but he is 8-3 with a 3.51 ERA, and he's had 17 starts, and that's another thing. He's very consistent. Like Ranger Suarez didn't pitch as much, doesn't have as many innings pitched, and 9 have been quality starts, and he does have 1 complete game, which this day and age you don't see complete games at all, and he's pitched 100 innings. It's just he's a guy that one of the things that really helped us in the early part of the year was he would go 6-7 innings, and it saved our bullpen. And here lately, though, that's some of the other guys haven't went very long, but that really was a good formula for us. 107 strikeouts and 18 walks. That's a lot of I just like that. He doesn't walk many people, so he makes the other team earn. I could go on about some of the other pitchers that just walk too many people, but Sonny goes in there and peppers that strike zone and makes the other team earn it. He is 35 years old. He's getting in the twilight of his career, and he has been on 3 All-Star teams, 13 years in the big leagues. And I just would have liked to seen him get honored with one more time on the All-Star team. So Sonny Gray's my 3rd pick.
My next snub is from the Toronto Blue Jays, the first place Toronto Blue Jays.
They are.
And just 2 weeks ago,
I
week, we're taunting the Rays, and now it's the Blue Jays.
That's baseball.
Good 3-team race. But it is George Springer, who's playing a lot of right field and doing some DHing for the Blue Jays. Springer, who usually does not have a very high average, is actually hitting 281 this year. 16 home runs, 10 stolen bases, and 886 OPS. Having a really good season, and he's been an all-star before, but this may be one of his better seasons. And he's on a really good team. And once again, this is kind of the Javi Baez effect. I'm not saying that Javi's not a good player, but I don't think he's an all-star outfielder. But that has forced a few people who are more deserving, in my eyes, to not be making the all-star team. And George Springer is going to be playing golf next Tuesday.
Well, my next guy, Vince, and you brought him up earlier, Juan Soto. I think what hurts Juan Soto is, I call it like the George Brett syndrome. George Brett hit 390, and he was the talk of the baseball. The next year he hits 338, and they say, he's washed up. That George Brett can't hit it like he used to. Juan Soto is his level of excellence is so great. We just sort of have undue expectations for players like this. Pujols was like that. He was so great every year. If he just dipped a little, people think, he's not as good as he once was. I don't see what all the hubbub's about. But in this year, where he went to New York, he's learning a new area, new fans. Maybe I'm overemphasizing that particular part of of baseball, but he's in there. He's making this huge money. I'm sure there's some pressure on that. He still has a 3.7 WAR, 89 hits, 21 home runs, 51 RBIs, and Vince, that's a year where this would be like the best year for most players. 10 RBIs. Here's something. In this year, he has 72 walks and 68 strikeouts. So he's still getting on base, and he's hitting a 363. His on-base percentage is 396, and his OPS is 904. And I'm telling you what, Vince, I take that on my team anytime, and it's the all-star game, and Juan Soto is a star, and I just want to see him there at the ballpark. That's one of those guys. In the 70s, I wanted to see Dave Parker there. Maybe Dave Parker wasn't hitting quite as high, but I want to see Dave Parker there. I want to see Ryan Sandberg at second, Ozzie Smith at short. Juan Soto is one of those players I just want to see in that stage. So my second one is Juan Soto.
Next on my list is Nathan Eovaldi, who has had a few little injuries this year, but he's put together a nice season. I shouldn't say nice, a really good season for a team that's really underachieving. He's got a 1.75 ERA in 77 innings. He's got 80 strikeouts and only 13 walks. He's got a whip of 0.85. To put that perspective, if you're below 1.2, you're having a really good season. And his whip is 0.85. I kind of hope the Rangers continue in this malaise because maybe that would be a trade opportunity for a team who is searching for another arm by one of the Great Lakes. Yes, he may go to Detroit and play for the Tigers. But Eovaldi's having a really good season, and he's a very good pitcher. And I think that he kind of victimized by the one player from each team thing, because the White Sox had to get their dude on there. So, but Nathan Eovaldi is my next snub.
Well, Vince, this is not because I know you and I like you, and I have become fond of following the Cubs so that we can talk on here. But I easily say Suzuki, this is kind of the biggest snub out there, and I hope he still makes the team. And I think nothing less of him if he's still on the team and he wasn't, named at the beginning. But I've always liked this guy, and he always seemed selfless. Like wherever you put him in the lineup, wherever position you put him in, he plays it, does his best. I always thought he was watching from afar, a very good fundamental player. But Vince, I didn't know home runs and RBIs. Is this he's never had a year like this with the home runs and RBIs. Had he 25 home runs the first half and 77 RBIs? That's Jack Clark stuff in his prime. That's incredible. So I just never know he had that kind of power. 31 walks, 102 strikeouts. He's hit 263 on base at 319, 91 hits, 86 games. He goes out there and plays every day and gives you a quality game. He's a guy in the lineup that I think he's just selfless. I think he's smart. He can move people over. He takes good at bats. He's hard to get out. I know he strikes out a little bit, but when he comes up, it's not some guys, some people come up in the lineup and you're like, okay, this is not, I don't have to, it's not, it's not PCA, it's not Tucker, but not Suzuki. He's another guy that just stretches your lineup and having a heck of a year. And I think he should be honored by being on the All-Star team.
I'll say this about Suzuki. He's always had power. And when we thought that I had a decision this when the Cubs brought him over, they envisioned him being a 30 home run type of hitter.
Okay.
He's every year he's had time on the DL, and he's I think 21 last year home runs. But his OPS has always been pretty high. The biggest difference is he almost always took the first pitch since he's been with the Cubs, and it would drive first pitch right down the middle, and he's taking it. And then the next pitch is a bender that he's going to swing at. So he took a lot more walks previously because he saw a lot more pitches. But he had the misfortune of being, in the time span he's been in baseball, having the second most egregious calls on strikes in Major League Baseball. And it was so apparent. Why do they keep calling bad strikes on this guy? Well, this year, he decided he was not going to be taking that first pitch. He was going to ambush pitchers a little more. And so his strikeout total has went up. His walk total has went down. But you see that power because he is a pitcher just can't lay a fastball in there anymore and get strike one. Because if you get ahead one strike, if you can get that second strike, if you're 0-2, you're hitting about major league average is like 160. You really have to dig yourself out of a hole. So with him being more of a free swinger this year by design, the strikeouts are up, and the walks are down, but I will take that for the 25 home runs and 77 RBIs. He also benefits because he's got Tucker hitting in front of him and PCA hitting behind him, whereas in years past, he was kind of looked at as, you should be the guy. Even when we had Bellinger, it was kind of like, you need to be the guy. You need to be the cleanup type guy. And this year, I think he can relax because he's got these two all-star sandwich between him, and he doesn't feel the pressure to be the guy. And I don't know if you remember, during the offseason, there was talk that, he wants out of Chicago because they got Kyle Tucker and he doesn't want to DH. That's not the guy I've watched. The guy I've watched, he wants to play the outfield. Every DH wants to play the outfield. Right. And he does play the outfield. He is our fourth outfielder, and he's serviceable. But he has taken to that DH role like a fish to water, and he's had a great year.
Great year. My
last snub, I didn't want to put him on here because he's a Yankee, and we all think Yankees. But anyway, Carlos Rodon. His ERA is a little high, not high, but 3.30. When you got other guys who are in the mid twos, below 2 in ERA, that's a little high. But he is pitching in Yankee Stadium, which, let's face it, JJ at the tender age of 3 could have hit a ball out of right center there. But his whip is 1.03, 127 strikeouts in 111 innings. Hey. And he has kind of been the anchor, he and Max Fried, that has kept the Yankees from completely imploding with their injuries. So I really do think that, there's probably not room for him on this All-Star, but he was certainly All-Star worthy. If he would have been put on the team, I wouldn't have minded. So that's my last.
All right, very good, Vince. I like your list.
I like your list, too.
Oh, bless you.
All right. Well, JJ, I am opening up Major League Baseball 1990 edition, the Collector's Choice, with the Nice foil package.
Oh, yeah. You may get a big one in there. There was some really good cards that year. Very nice. What? Well, I'm going 2025 Top Series 2. There you go.
Wait a minute. Oh, that's Aaron Judge doing a deodorant commercial. Very nice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Series 1. I'm sorry. I think it's Otani on Series 2. So that's Series 1. 12 cards right there. And yeah, the deodorant commercial. They got them on every commercial now. Well, Vince, you've got the better set. Can I go first since you've got the extravagant cards there?
You will have no Hall of Famers. That's my prediction.
Well, yeah. Maybe I'll tell you what. I bet I have 3 All-Star players. How's that?
Okay.
All right. Well, here's a fancy one here. Every team's got like an All-Star guy. There's Gunnar Henderson. There's Gunnar right there. All right. Oh, not an All-Star, but it has been an All-Star. Nolan Arenado. There he is.
Oh, nice picture.
Nice picture right there. I don't know who that is. I can't pronounce his name, so I don't do his. Francisco Alvarez from the Mets. There he is. He's showing that he is a Met player. He's very proud of that jersey. Let's see. Oh, from the Washington Nationals, we talked about him. Mackenzie Gore. Seems like we name a player, they show up in our cards right there.
Well, maybe we faced him a couple weeks ago. Golly, gee, that guy's nasty.
Just think how the Padres minor leagues were when they made that deal. They had a lot of good players they gave away there. You know what? I have heard of this guy, Jake Cave from Colorado.
Yeah.
There he is, Jake Cave. Round in the bag. Let's see, Michael King, one of the big bullpen pitchers for the Padres. There he is. And the City Connect jerseys.
Yeah.
Let's see. Can't tell you what his first name is. Maybe you can make it out. It's Martinez from the Toronto Blue Jays, but I can't make out that name.
I can't even see it.
Yeah. Well,
Tom.
Oh, we got an all-star. Mr. Otani, right there.
He's pretty good.
You know, he's the type of player, he's so great that if you see his silhouette, you know what player it is.
Yeah.
You know, he's just that kind of player. Oh, this guy has become a darling of St. Louis, and we absolutely love him. Pedro Pages. We didn't know he'd be this good. And when Sonny Gray pitched like a one-hitter, they had the star of the game, and he brought Pedro out with them. And I just thought that was very classy. And he said the only hit I gave up was the one pitch I shook off from Pedro. So how about that? We could have seen history, perhaps. Let's see. This is Anthony Volpe from the Yankees. One of them side cards. Yeah, him diving. And 2 more here. Well, Vince, you might know this kid. He is on the All-Star team. PCA right there.
Better save that card.
Yeah, future star. Well, he's a present star. And the final one, not an all-star this year, but a future Hall of Famer, Mr. Mike Trout. There you are. So that's my pack. 2 all-stars.
All right, let me open this foil package. Oh, I got one more package and I have to buy more. Oh, okay. And I'm saying 2 Hall of Famers.
I'm going to say 1.
Second baseman for the Reds, for the Orioles, and for the Padres. Very good player, Bip Roberts.
Oh, yeah. He was fast.
Bat him at the top of the lineup. Very good. Oh, not a Hall of Famer, but my gosh, for a 4-year period, this guy was lights out. Dave Stewart.
The death stare, had that hat down. Love Dave Stewart.
Pitched big games.
Had a little bitty voice, a little high voice.
20 wins in 87, 21 in 88, 21 in 89. Then he won 20 more in 90.
Dave Duncan's a heck of a pitching coach.
Then he went to Toronto and pitched on their World Series team. So just
outstanding.
Great guy. Oh, the awesome Ranger Gary Milkey. I remember his wrestlers, the Mulkey brothers,
The Mulkey-mania. Yeah.
Randy and what was the other Mulkey? Randy Mulkey and
Indian.
was it Dennis
Julio.
Mulkey? Very good pitcher. Used to close for the Blue Jays. Wayne Ward.
Oh, yes. Very nice player. Yeah.
Oh, this guy wasn't the best player, but man, I mean, he was just always on call. He was always ready. Randy Ready.
Ready, ready.
Former Cub. No, wait a minute. No, sorry, wrong guy. Former Astro, Eric Yielding. I was thinking of Eric Young.
Oh, he was very fast too. You know
Yeah.
what? I got those two guys mixed up as well. Yelding and Young.
Maybe our age. I don't know.
Maybe.
Ooh, one of these nice Atlanta
Oh, yes.
hologram things.
Holograms. Yeah.
I should not just take all these that I've collected and stick to the bumper of my car so Sparky has a nice chrome bumper. Yeah.
Or make one of those belts that our friend makes out of all those holograms. That'd be like Dwight Yoakam.
Oh, former Blue Jay, Junior Felix.
Oh, yeah.
Nice smile there.
Man, he's young there.
Cincinnati Red left-hander Tom Bertzes. I don't think this guy's gonna play. I don't think he's real.
Yeah, that was a prank card.
Oh my gosh, that guy who crawled out of the Cajun swamp of Louisiana with his guitar and became a singing star, Mr. Jerry Reed.
Jerry
When
Reed.
you hot.
When you're not, you're not. That's right. Jerry Reed. I love Jerry.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Yes.
Fred, yeah. Former
Water Boy. The Water Boy.
He was in the Water Boy. Oh my gosh.
An older Jerry Reed, but yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Here comes Amos. Former outfielder for the Cubs, playing with the Mariners at this time, Henry Cotto.
Yeah. Oh, nice player.
Into the salami business. Yes, he did. Oh, this guy had a last name that was kind of dirty, so they had to clean it up. Kevin Blankenship for the Cubs.
Yeah. I don't remember him as a player. I remember the name.
Your close personal friend, Mr. Jose Canseco.
Oh, yeah. We're like this, you know.
Oh. This guy, yeah, he had a pretty strong career. Jeff Musselman.
I don't remember him.
Musselman. Strong
yeah,
career.
yeah, strong career. Yes.
I have been in this guy's house.
Oh,
Andy Van Slyke.
Andy Van Slyke.
Told that
Slick.
story.
It's been to Caledonia.
I had so many Hall of Very Goods. Another Hall of Very Good, Mr. Ruben Sierra.
Yes. There was a stretch of about 4 years where he was one of the best players in the game, I thought, at the time.
Yeah. Fantastic player. Well, JJ, we will not be broadcasting next week or taping or whatever we do. We don't know. We're old men. Barely know how to turn on the lights. But anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the All-Star game.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going to Omaha, seeing Max. I haven't seen him since Easter. I'm in the process of finishing his wanted to frame for his diploma.
Oh.
And I was going to work on it today, but Murphy's Law. So,
Yes.
But anyway, you have a great 2 weeks.
You too, sir.
We'll get on here in 2 weeks, and the Pirates will be in first place because that's just how things go. So,
Baseball's a crazy game.
all right, JJ, you take care.
Take care, Vince.